Let's see. We should then be live. And welcome everyone to this first ever broadcasted Turn1 event on Silverstone. My name is Truls Solberg, and together with me in the booth I have Carl Cisco. And Carl, tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm driver the number 444 Lexus. I appreciate a good race every so often. I like long walks to the fridge at night.
That sounds like a reasonable introduction. Okay, and we also in a minute we will be having a chat, a pre-qualifying interview with the Turn1's COO, Chief of Operations. I'm guessing that I'm not too sure about the lingo. There, Kyle, can you help me out? I think it is.
I have no idea.
Yeah, at least it's Mr. Alton Jones, also known as AJ, in the community and in the team. So we'll be pulling him down now, and then we can have a small chat with him. Let me see. We have. Swap over.
In the chat that the game's not showing up.
No, it's not. It's supposed to show up yet because we are not live. The qualification starts in 5 minutes. So I'll drag him down then. And welcome, AJ. Can you hear us? It might actually be that AJ is not here.
Timing.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's what we needed for the first broadcast, which were supposed to be perfect. But yeah, you know, we have everyone has their technical difficulties. We have seen that, even the big ones.
Yep, for sure. Yeah.
Chief Operating Officer.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Daniel.
Hello, AJ. You are with us now, with Kyle and Trolls.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, we just wanted to have a pre-qualifying interview with you, since you are the Chief Operating Officer of Turn1, and we have now 4 minutes left. So, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the slower drivers on the track tonight, but I enjoy my racing, and wanted to help to put on this community race, as it's been requested by many members of the community to just have an opportunity to race with the quicker guys from Turn 1, as well as the what we call our pro class, as well as our silver and am class. So it's just a mixture of pretty much everybody getting together on an opportunity to race, have some fun. We're all going to be in the Turn 1 lounge having a little bit of a chat throughout the race. So there's no prizes for this. It's just, as I said, a bit of fun for the community. As Shaw said, I'm the COO at Turn 1. My role is just making sure that everything, ticks over.
Right. Are you still with us, AJ?
We've recently launched this our YouTube channel, and this is our first live stream event broadcasted and commentated on by Trolls and Kyle. So very many thanks to them both for helping out tonight. I know both of you would rather be on the track, but it's great that you're been doing this on behalf of the Turn 1 management and helping out the community. So well done, guys.
It's always fun to watch a good race. So
yeah, sure thing. It's gonna be a good experience, I hope. And I mean, I guess you took how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions out of my mouth, I think, in that one. So but yeah, I was just wanting to give you a chance to talk a little bit. What is Turn 1?
Yeah, Turn 1, we're both a combination of an esports team, sim racing team with some sim racing drivers, along with some FIA registered real life drivers. It's founded by William Weirich and Oscar Sandberg. They're both work quite extensively and intensively in Nürburgring, both real life racers, multiple Nürburgring 24-hour champions in different classes. They really started the community and asked me to help run it, and now we're just looking to take ourselves to the next level of being a more recognised esports team, and starting to compete at the highest level in the SRO championships. We already compete in the SimGrid Endurance Championship Split 1, Split 2 and Split 3. We also compete in the RCI Racing Club International World Tour. We won the Pro Split last year. We came second in the high silver split, and we also won the low silver split. So we're doing pretty well in endurance wise. That tends to be our focus is on endurance racing, but everyone enjoys some sprint races. So yeah, we all get into a little bit of the fun sprint race, and this one tonight is going to be a very short sprint race, 40 minutes. with a mandatory pit stop, helping us to support our more female racers. Our female racers racing in the more female racers at the Sim Grid season 4, I believe it is, championship. So we've got both our female drivers and some of our co-drivers driving in the Ferrari tonight. There you have it. That's a bit about me, a bit about Turn 1. Any more questions, Charles?
No, I think we got it covered, and you have now 5 seconds until quali starts, so gotta get you back to the general population, you can call them.
Great stuff.
Yeah. Well, have a good race.
Okay.
Yep.
Cheers, guys.
Good luck, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Then we are just waiting for the server to tick over. I had a small issue with the broadcast app as it was opened with the other server on. Maybe we can now have some control. Let me just see.
As expected with the broadcast app, we do seem to have a lot of issues with the broadcast app in.
There we go. Now it's working.
Other times I've done stuff like this. So.
Yeah. The autopilot worked fine. It was just I couldn't individually select people by their name, just by their grid position. So that was it's working fine now. People a little bit low. Andy, Oscar, and Ryan can't drive. Hello. We are just about to get in. Let's get the race open here. People are just entering pits after the free practice session, which lasted 10 minutes for the race. And I think you guys will have the picture now. And that means we can tune down the music and actually just stop it. All right. Yes.
All right. The server should be ticking over to qualifying right now as we speak. What do you think? Who do you think the top driver is going to be?
Who qualifies for pole?
Yeah.
Mean? Well, looking at the list here, we actually got a few extra people coming in right at the end. We do have the general suspects of Mr. Grant Willemot. We have Chris Corbin, Marcel Village, Andre Michael is also known to be fast. Stavros can do a good qualifying, and he's also in the McLaren, because that was my next point. Don't forget Daniel Watkin and Gert Fischer. But there's a lot of Ferraris here, and the Ferrari, and also Anders Amundsen, of course. I think that's covering the top fastest. But yeah, I was gonna say all of the really quick drivers we know are either in Lambos or Ferraris, which will be interesting, because I have driven the Ferrari here myself, because we are driving it in the MFR tomorrow, and it's not a fun car to drive around Silverstone.
It's a pretty front end heavy car, right?
The Ferrari?
Yeah, it likes to understeer.
It is a understeer car, of course. You can make it pretty well balanced, and the front aero does grip well. The problem with Silverstone, it doesn't seem like that when you look at the broadcast and the layout, but some of these curbs, especially on the inside, the cut curbs, which cars like the Bentley, the Lexus, Aston and the AMG can just drive straight over. The Ferrari has a tendency of taking those curbs and spitting them directly back out, which makes you spin. So and in a pretty violent manner as well. So the Ferraris are not enjoying the curbs, and the Bentleys, which I also have experience in, does not enjoy the off-throttle turn-ins with I think it's Abbey is one of them. Is that the one with the old start-finish straights?
I believe. I don't know. Let me get my track map. That's one thing I forgot to pull up.
Yeah, I was about to pick that up as well.
I have one saved, thankfully.
Yeah.
The old straight, yes. Abbey is the correct one. The fast right.
Yes. and into stove. No, not stove. Sorry.
Abbey into farm, I believe.
Yes.
This could be wrong. I am looking at a dated map, slightly dated track map, but I do believe, yeah, the Ferrari does struggle around here from what you have said.
Yes.
It's over.
So it's not stove. No, it's the two problem corners here is Cops and Abbey for the Bentley.
Yeah. I've had plenty of problems at Cops in the Bentley. It just gets too slidey in the rear, for sure. It gets way too much oversteer.
Yeah.
But if you can make it stick, you can get a lot of good speed coming out of these corners. Especially in like cars such as the Porsche and the Lexus. I say that just as Chris Corbin spins it going through Abbey.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be a bit rough. Almost came back onto the track, but he managed to keep it off.
I was yeah, he's back in the pits now. Let's jump on board a lap with Grant Willemot here, which is one of our faster drivers. If you can just have this. So he's just now heading into the Maggots and Beckett's complex in the Ferrari. Lots of understeer. He just chucks it in there. And after the Maggots and Beckett's complex and chapel, there's the Hangar Straight going into Stowe. It's a big right-hander, which you would need to be trail braking through a lot of the corner, and then hopefully you will have the front aero, which you said that the Ferrari are lacking, into the then Whale and Club chicane, which is also a is one of the better parts of the track for the Ferrari. But it seems like Grant has a pretty good grip of the Ferrari. Hasn't had any issues yet.
I'm trying to look for a word. Variable when it comes to driving cars, because he's quick in a lot of different cars.
Yes, he's one. If it wasn't for the fact that he's in the Ferrari, he's one of my main contenders for the pole position today. We are starting to see times come in here now, and we have on the provisional pole is Andre Michael, and he puts in a lap of 1:57.5. That is not a too bad lap for this. It's quick.
Quick.
For the temperatures.
He just extended that at a 1:57.051, so he's pushing a 1:56.
Yeah, that is where I would have expected these guys into the 56s. The temperatures might make it difficult, but yeah, we'll see. I think there's a lot of people that can be pushing the 46s today.
Oh yeah. What is your optimal, like, what do you think the fastest track temp is around here?
Fastest track temp? Oh,
yeah.
As we actually see Anders Amundsen crash the car on his way into pit lane. That's going to be an interesting one for the race as well. Thinking, can you do the question again? I got a little bit distracted by the crash.
I was asking what do you think the fastest temperature is for these tires around here?
A little bit dependent on the car, but I would think around 18 to 16 to 20 ambient would be the best in Celsius. I think 18 usually are the fastest, because then you have both the grip of the tires and the airflow and turbo working. And you know, as the colder air, the better the cooling of the car is, the better the turbo works, but also the higher density of the air, so the wings will be more effective. And these GT3 cars does have a lot of wing.
Right.
So I think that's the optimum for a hot lap. But then again, cars like the Bentley will not be performing well under those cold conditions. The Bentley has a big problem with front tire temperatures in those type of scenarios. But you can fix it with a little bit of toe, a little bit of brake ducts.
Now, for qualifying, where would you want to be positioned? Do you want to be in front of a car, behind a car? Do you want to get the draft? What do you want to do? Do you want to have open air, or do you want to have the draft so you can have a bit of an advantage in qualifying? Because for me, qualifying, I sometimes need to qualify behind a car. It depends on the track, because I can have that draft in the straights, especially me driving the Lexus almost exclusively. Do you want that kind of an advantage over the car ahead of you, or do you not want to risk getting into a battle in qualifying?
No, I would love. I'm always making myself around a 5 to 10 second gap, if possible. I do feel like the aero wash on these cars are a little bit too powerful, especially for a track like Silverstone. I would definitely have clear air, just because it's going to be you're gonna feel it on the car, that the dirty air from the car in front is disrupting more than the slipstream does. So and I also get easily distracted with the car in front. But I do get your point, because if I'm driving a brand new track, the best way of learning that track is to follow a person that already know the track, you know.
Right.
And that's why you're also gonna see today. I think you're gonna see a lot of people putting in their quali lap, especially some of these more female racer girls and the guys that hasn't practiced too much on this track. They will be faster race pace wise than they will be in qualifying, and that is quite interesting. But that is because they're following a big pack then.
Well, yeah, but there is also the point in fact that I know many people say this, but hot lapping is one thing and racing is another.
Yeah.
Where is the line between both, though? That's the question. That's the real question.
Yeah. I don't really know. I think there's a switch in your mind that just turns on when you're going into the race. You are a little bit sharper, a little bit more awake. Hot lapping or the qualifying, which I am terrible at, is if you spin, it doesn't matter. You just get yourself back to the garage somehow. And but when you get into the race, you can't make mistakes. A mistake
Right.
is a second or 10, 20 seconds lost, or even like a big damage that you can't take back. You, like, the other cars just continue driving, so you get the issue and they benefit from it. I guess people go into these races with that mindset, and that makes everyone a little bit sharper.
Yes, for sure.
So as we see, nobody has really managed to push Andre on this this qualifying lap. He's still there in provisional pole with only 3.5 minutes left, with a 1:57 flat. As we are now following Celine Witcher, and that is a little bit of the reason why we have Silverstone today, isn't it? Because of the upcoming more female racers race tomorrow.
Yep. I'm sure that well, you would know this better because you're a co-driver, but I'm sure that these more female racers. I race with Celine a lot, and she's a fantastic driver. I have not had any problems with her at all. She's quick. We have a lot of fun when we're racing in chat, especially. But what can you tell me about how the more female racers stuff is ran? Because I don't know too much about it.
So the more female racers is a championship hosted by the SimGrid, which is a big community in ACC. They the race itself is to promote more females in motorsports, and specifically then sim racing. we are usually the race is a 60-minute race with a 3-stint setup. So you do you have the 23-minute stint timer, and then you have to swap driver twice. So the female racer, or the slowest of the female racers, are starting and qualifying, and then the co-driver jumps in for the middle stint, and the female racers finish it. So and this season we have a spec series which is only Ferraris. That's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Ferrari's a great all-around starter car, and I mean, from what I heard, it's fairly easy to set up at some tracks. But like you said, this car has front washout pretty quickly, so that's something we're gonna have to watch. Is there any specific car that you like driving more than, the Bentley, or, just what is your favorite car overall? Because mine is definitely the Lexus. I went from the Ferrari to the Bentley to the Lexus. I mean, I finally found a car that works for me.
Yeah, I would definitely say that my favorite car is the Bentley. It's the one I'm most comfortable with. It's the one I'm quickest in, and it is a phenomenal car. I would say I don't really have a car matching that one. Really. I would wish to be faster in the BMW M6, but that is a beast only the best can master. And yeah, I've tried most of the cars. I tried the Porsche. That is just, at least to me, that's a coffin on wheels, unfortunately. But yeah, the only real car I haven't been driving too much is the McLaren. And as we are speaking of the death of the Porsche, we are on board with we are spectating Sonky as he goes around for the and also causing a yellow flag for the last lap, actually, for this qualifying.
And we are in max wait time, which means flying laps do count. So we'll get ready to rack them up and get this race underway.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe we can jump on board with number 69. AJ, he's up to 210s in his Turn 1 Badgers livery on that Bentley. It looks really mean. It's a good livery. And he is also racing that livery and that car in the Exiled series, as you can see the mark for it. He lost
of which,
his...
I will also be racing in the Exiled NA series tonight.
Oh yeah, true. They have a North American series. So
yep.
The North Americans watching should definitely check that out. It's they usually have pretty nice prices as well. That's one of the few series I race with the actual price involved. I don't think AJ improved. He's in the top 10 though. So that's a good effort. And
P10, middle of the field. We have 19 drivers. A lot of most of them are all Turn 1 drivers, so this is going to be interesting to watch. There's going to be a lot of friendly competition going on. This is for fun, right? Yep. So it's probably just going to be a great thing to watch, because a lot of us know how to drive against each other. So we can try and push each other. There's going to be a lot of fun blocking kind of things going on. But I'm pretty sure they're all just going to have a blast with it.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be... We can take the positions as they racked up. Pole position was that 157 flat time from Andre. Followed by Grant, 6/10 off. He's not going to be happy with that. Then Chris Corbin, P3. Anders Amundsen, P4. Daniel Watkin, P5. P6 is Stavros Konstantinidis. That's always a name that a lot of people get wrong. Marcel Willett in P7. Sonky B in P8 in his 111 Porsche. Ninth is Josh Thompson. And running up the top 10 is AJ Jones. Followed by Max Simmons in a Honda. That is actually a pretty good qualifying lap from him to put it in 11th in Honda. 12th is Kirk in his Audi, and Chris Stevenson in a BMW at 13th. Then we have Celine Witcher and Hedda Rangsater, and at the last 3 positions, Simon Capelli, Dami Io, and Gert Fischer. And I don't think any one of those put in a lap at all. So that's going to be interesting, seeing that the...
That's the first challenge?
Yeah, I know that both Dami and Gert has a lot of pace. And Simone Isney, he's not a slowpoke either, so they will be trying to get the... And this is a little bit about this community race as well. It's for fun, right? So somebody will take it as a last to first challenge, and someone will battle it out of who of the aliens are the fastest. That will be interesting.
We do have a lot of talent on this team, that is for sure. For some reason we had a session restart.
Yeah, probably technical issue for some of the drivers. We have Chris Stevenson hosting this race with his race server, and he is quite handy with that, so he knows all the commands needed. It might actually be a addition to the lineup, because suddenly we are 18 drivers. Or were we 18 drivers the whole qualifying?
I think we had 19, I believe. So
yes, it might be a technical issue for a car then. Who is missing?
That is a distinct possibility.
Oh. Well, at least we are 1 minute away from the green, no, not the green flag, but the formation lap. So.
Also, we have a mandatory tire change. So they go in, get tires. I do believe it's like 25 seconds or 30 seconds, and then they come out. So strategy is going to be a play here, just for fun. Since this isn't for fun race, we can watch and see what the strategies are. But I'm curious to know, when should you pit, or how should you pit, or how do you minimize the amount of time lost in a 40-minute race?
Yeah, that's
a mandatory tire change.
That's the question, right? Because you have it depends a little bit on how the drivers want to put this one, on how they want to lay it up in their strategies. You have the opportunity to go more towards the like you can split it like 50-50 to 20 minutes pit and then 20 minutes. That is most likely the fastest way to do it, because then you will have the same amount of fuel on like the tires, so you will go out with lower fuel in the car, and then like I was saying, just split it. That's probably the best for the tires, best for the car in terms of raw pace. You will also have the people that are pitting right away to avoid the traffic, because there will be a traffic jam. As we all know, the cars behind, especially on the first few laps in the beginning, will have to go slower, just because it's you cannot fit 2 cars in one place. And then you have the people that will try to go to the end, because it's only a 40-minute race, right? So they might just go to the end and or at least fuel the car to the end, so they can just go in pit with tires, and then be more flexible in the strategy, right? So they can undercut, they can overcut.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will have.
What about the advantages? Should you take less fuel? I mean, what exactly would you gain from having less fuel, other than taking a longer pit?
That's the thing, right? We have to change the drivers here have to change tires, so you won't have any disadvantages on taking lower fuel, because you will have the only disadvantage is that you will have to pit at some point, and if that pit is a bad place for you, let's say longer races, they will have to account for rain and stuff. I don't think it's going to rain today. It looks to be a sunny day on Silverstone. But yeah, they will definitely be. I don't think there is any, to be honest, because the tire change will take 30 seconds, and the car with 20-minute stints will most likely be fueled with around 30 to 40 liters, and that takes less, and they can fuel and change tires at the same time.
Right.
So the benefits is obviously there. So what people will go for?
Not a looser car or a lighter car. You know, a lighter car could also mean maybe some imbalance in the aero. Maybe.
That is true. There are cars on the track like the Porsche that will be more and the Audi, and that will be more understeery because the fuel tank is all the way on the front bonnet, underneath the front bonnet, and they will be more understeery the lower the fuel. But again, the car will also be more stable as it's lighter. Especially the Bentleys and the Ferraris are noticeably better on low fuel. So, but again, 40 minutes, nobody will really have to fuel max, you know. I'm guessing they will use around 80 to 90 liters total for the whole race. So, and these cars has a capacity for around 110, dependent on car and the current balance of performance. Andy says that it is supposed to be 18. Stavros just joined it with 2 cars. So that's the one that got removed. But yeah, we are getting ready here now. We are... cars are bunching up in lines
double
of
file.
2. Double file, yeah. And we are going to slowly crawl towards the control line where the lights will turn green and we go racing. So, any predictions from you on this race in terms of positions?
I'm curious to see. This is kind of ironic how Turn 1 turns out.
Yeah.
Because it gets tight through here, and including recent F1 events, it shows how tight it gets sometimes through cops, and then the intro to Maggots and Beckets usually gets a little bit dicey. With cars going 2 abreast through there. But we are green.
Yes, green flag, green. We go racing. And Marcel, Andre took the start right away, I think. And yeah, it looks like a clean start through cops. Or
I wouldn't say that just yet. We still have Maggots and Beckets to get through before we.
That's true, and we have cars going everywhere right now. As we are watching Daniel Watkin here. There was a car off. I think that was Stavros. Took the shortcuts. And then we have...
we had somebody start from the pits, by the looks of it. Capelli.
Yeah, Simone started from the pits.
Playing it safe. Now, here's where we're going to start seeing the friendly battles come up between drivers, because we're basically just one big giant family, racing family. So we know how to drive against each other pretty well, and we know how to like mess with each other, get the mind games going on.
Yeah, definitely a lot of these drivers know each other, and there will be some internal battling and some both for fame and bragging rights, but also just to get their that's okay. That's the car of Anders.
Ooh.
He's all over that back of the Porsche. Chris Corbin
Celine just went off.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It was a nice little fight. There was a nice little fight between her and Gert, but I think Celine may have just made a slight braking error.
Yeah.
And just went off.
Sonky did a Sonky, so Sonky also dropped back down to P16. As we are now in the battle for the is it 12th? I think it's 12th. So that means that Hedda has gotten ahead of Christopher Stevenson, I think, and he's now chasing behind. And this will also be
behind Steve-O, we've got Damiayo, which he's a pretty quick driver as well.
Yeah, and he didn't qualify for this, so he's all about trying to get as fast as possible. As you can see, sorry, Gert that started from the back is already up into P11, and we are yeah, that battle is going to be interesting to watch. But here we have some battling between Anders and Stavros. They were side by side.
Say, it's a nice little fight going on. It's gonna be tight coming through here.
Yeah, but I think
they got side by side there for a second. Let's see who gets to launch out of the exit. Because I know for a fact that McLaren has some speed. We got an incident in the background. Dami and who was that? Oh, Dami and Hedda.
Oh.
Must have hit each other.
Yeah. Oh, and Stavros just punts Anders, and he's yeah. That was a murder. And
come on, guys, this isn't good for safety rating. Come on.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a fun race. There's nothing to it more than that, but it's also a good way to let off some steam, and it will always be bragging rights inside the inside of the
Turn 1. Yep.
team, right? Yeah. No game sounds. Oh, we don't have any game sounds. Sorry. Game sounds should be on now. Sorry about that. People need to remind me to turn on the sounds. We didn't have game sound through all qualifying either. God damn it. Yeah. So it's gonna be a fight now for Simone, Adami, and Hedda to try to catch up to the back of the pack. They do have 35 minutes to make up for it, so, and they were actually quite fast.
A decent pace. I think maybe. As I just watched car number 68 just go off at Maggots and Beckett's. Got really loose there. That inside curbing really kicks the car up sometimes. So people got to watch that inside. But I was wanting to ask you, what do you think about the new BMW that's going to be coming out as well?
Yeah, I was about to touch in on that when you asked me about my favorite car, because the BMW M6 has been my favorite car to drive. It's definitely the coolest looking and the meanest sounding, and it also feels really great with the current tire model in terms of force feedback. So I will be definite to check out the M4, which should be a better car, as it's a upgraded and BMW's new entry.
More user-friendly for newer people as well. Because I know for a fact the car takes a lot of work to get nailed down.
It sure does. Oh, I go into the village complex, and Marcel is getting pushed quite heavily here from Stavros. That's a good fight.
Making a heavy assault back there. Making that McLaren known.
Yeah.
That Lambo. I'm kind of curious to see. Oh my gosh, you can see the immediate braking distance difference between the Lambo and the Macca. Like, oh man. I've
also never seen a GT3 car run as high off the ground on the front as the Lambo does. So it might be quite understeery, this one. And
it's an angry cone. You can just the great thing about the Lambo is in the little time that I did have with it, you could slide that sucker around. You could really just throw it into corners, and once you get the nose pointed where you need to go, you could floor it and it'll go. I mean, it's almost like an LMP1 car. Like, if they just stick and go, usually. I've never really had an issue with it. The only thing I've had issues with is tire degradation, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's about sums up what I know about it as well. That the front tires, no, the rear tires, sorry, really lit up sometimes, as I'm being aware of.
Making a huge battle. They're making a decent move against car number 684.
That will be Josh Thompson.
They're right up around the inside.
Yeah, he's already passed, I think. Yeah, he's already passed. As I'm being aware of a incident which might result in a DNF from Dami.io. You see, I do get some distracted sometimes, people, and that is most the fact that I'm in the same room as one of the drivers, Hedda Rangsader. She is sitting right behind me, and she was probably witness to that incident
we can definitely hear her in the background for sure.
Yeah, as
Ever
she
so
was
often.
as she was shouting, "Oh no!" And so yeah, it happens sometimes. But
Yep.
speaking of the pack at the back, there's a fight going on there between Simone and Hedda.
As the field starts to spread out, we have a few cars that are battling. In the middle of the field. Gert just took over or overtook car number 68.
Yeah.
Quite quickly, like almost astonishingly quickly, as if planned by car number 68.
Yeah, and that car from Hedda looks damaged. That car does not look fun to drive as she goes into pits. That's probably a good idea. Get that car pitted, new tires, more fuel, and then do some repairing.
Yep, best damage strategy. I know you've told me this in the past in my 949 races, but you basically just want to, as soon as you take damage, if it's too much to handle, just jump in immediately, take the pit, get the pit over with, and then go and try to do damage conservation on the track.
Yeah, because you lose so much time, right? You lose so much time by running around in the damaged car. So it's definitely a good choice. Even going one lap might actually hinder you from getting out of the pits ahead of the pack, which will now be the question. Will Hedda and Simone get out in front of car 100 from Andre, or will they be now under blue flags when they're exiting? But because that can also lose you time because you are not allowed to fight or defend from a blue flag.
Well, Simone is moving right now, so we'll find out. Hedda's not moving. Dami is back in it. Good on him for sticking around with us.
Yeah. And he sped in the pit lane, I think.
Dami!
Got a drive-through.
Oh, man. That is insult to injury right there.
Yes.
Having an incident during the race and then trying to leave the pits to get back in it and then immediately, that is heartbreak.
Yeah, as we see Max Simmons and Anders Amundsen going side by side into Maggis and Beckett's. Will this be going... okay, they
touch. They definitely touched. Oh, they're still touching.
Well, I think that's got to be a connection thing for you because they had... on my screen, they have 5 meters ahead. Oh, but that's a car off. That's car number 148. That's going to be...
I was watching the wrong battle then.
Marcel Villet. He has been run off the track. By who?
Yeah, him and Gert Fisher had a little fight going through Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, that's also a DNF for Marcel. That's a shame.
I don't think it's a DNF. I mean, you could easily get back out there and get on the track.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can have the replay here as they're going through Cops Corner and into Maggis and Beckett's. You see that Gert got a better run. Decides to make it too wide, I guess. Here somewhere. Oh yeah, yeah. He does a little bit of a dive into the corner, and there's just touching.
The stop-go penalties and the drive-throughs are being handed out like crazy right now. Sonky B just got a drive-through for speeding in pits, so he's got a stop-go 30 though.
Yeah.
So, about lap traffic, where would you think the optimum spot to be passing lap traffic is? Because a lot of these races, and a lot of these longer races, are about traffic management. Like, all about traffic management. As we have a car going off at Cops, car number 316, Grant Wilmot.
That's actually Grant Wilmot, yeah. And that means that Michael is... he's basically home free at this point, unless he does any big mistakes.
There's also lap traffic in front of him, which could cause a mistake, But as I was saying, where do you think the best places to run into lap traffic would be? As in the optimal position so you can get by them, or not like minimize time lost, minimize any damage that you have
I would
to the
say that
situation.
one of the places you would definitely get them is that if you catch them at the end of the Maggot and Beckett's complex, where you can have the whole straight to overtake them, and you will also after Stowe Corner into the really sharp hairpin. So into the sharp hairpins in general, because you can do a pass on the inside without losing too much time, and then also it's more likely for the blue flag car to be aware that you will be making the move there, as it's one of the more common places to overtake.
And what do you think? And put yourself in a position of a blue flagged car. Where would I want to, if I'm battling with somebody that's actually, on my lap, or, somebody that I'm battling for position to try and minimize as much damage as possible, where should I let the lead lap car through? Or, where do you think it would be best to give up the position so you don't end up losing the line or losing too much time to the person behind you that you're racing against?
Well, you're asking the wrong person, really, because if I was on the blue flags, I would never yield, right? But no, but yeah, I would hope to be able to just brake a little bit earlier into these 90-degree corners. As I said, sharp hand turns. I would definitely not let anyone buy into Abbey and Cops, as that is really dangerous. That's where the car is most unstable, where the tires are most loaded, and just a tiny bump can send either yours or the lapping cars flying and into you. So, but I've been looking at some of these cars. There's a lot of damage going on, and I know that this is a few cars that people are not used to drive. I saw Kirk Heath. That car looked pretty banged up, and
there's a lot of beating and banging for sure going on right now. But that's racing.
Yeah, that's racing. That's true.
As they say here, rubbing's racing. So.
Yeah, looking at the rules for example, NASCAR and IndyCar, the rubbing and racing is a little bit more freely interpreted in the States, I would say, compared
as long as
to.
you're not intentionally trying to punt somebody off, I think it's clean. But
yeah, it looks like it. I actually saw a little comparison today during the Formula 1 race. Where the Norwegian what's going on?
Got real loose there coming out of the hairpin.
All right.
Almost made contact with a lead lap driver, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's you have to decide where to pass, right? As we see Grant going into the pits for his pit stops. It looks to be on schedule. Maybe a little bit earlier than he wanted. Maybe because of flat spots.
Spots. He went off the track a couple of times. I mean, here and there. I think it might be all around decent decision to make a move now. And pit. I mean, it's close enough to the halfway point, like you said. That is optimal position to pit. So we'll see how this goes for him, because he's got the pace. If he can pull the undercut off, it'd be interesting to watch for sure. But no one's stopping Andre right now.
No,
Andre is moving.
He is flying. He has his best lap in the race at a 1:57.5, and that is rapid. That is really fast. As we see, Sanki taking a little bit too much out of that corner, and the Porsche does not enjoy that, saying that please stay on the track or I will kill you.
Yeah, the Porsche is pretty violent sometimes, especially when it comes to battling people and.
As we see Stevenson trying to unlap himself from Hedda, and that was a huge dive bomb.
There may be contact there between the two. We got a car off track. Hopefully not a bad rejoin. It's Sonky. Oh, there was a very close car. Oh no, that's not Sonky. That's Chris. That's Chris Corbin. Chris Corbin spun it.
Chris Corbin has spun it. That is true.
My apologies. That wasn't Sonky.
in his GPX Racing number 22 Porsche. As we have AJ joining us.
Welcome.
How's it going, AJ? How was the race? I think you might be muted. I'm not sure.
Hey guys.
Hey.
So yeah, I was on mute. Yeah, a little disappointed with my race. You know, I didn't make it to the start-finish line. Unfortunately, I had a disconnect on the formation lap.
Oh yeah.
As we went 2 by 2, it was a bit of a shame. You know, I felt that you know, with my practice session during qualifying, I had the pace to be in the top 10. I mean, I qualified in the top 10, but yeah, I felt if I'd got on the track, I'd have been able to do something. But never mind, it happens.
Yeah.
All we can really do is just push on to the next one.
Exactly. Yeah.
As we were following Stevenson here, you can see that BMW is not playing ball either. He was almost losing it twice in Maggotts and Beckett's, and out of the last corner he got a big oversteer. And that is also a thing to notice, right? When you're driving these cars, BMW is usually pretty stable, but you can make it loose if you want to. And driving a loose, unstable car is something that you generally would never do. Even though it's fast, usually a loose car is a little bit faster than a stable one. Depending on your driving style, of course. It's just you don't want to have that in a race scenario that you might lose the car and hit the wall at any time, right?
Yeah, absolutely agree. You know, but I mean, this is a sprint race. You tend to run with a looser car than you would in an endurance race because you know you want to be as quick as possible. But you're right. Isn't there's loose and then there's undrivable.
Yeah.
My car was a little loose. I deliberately had it like that, and because it's a sprint. Unfortunately, as I said, I just didn't make the grid. But it's great to see Andre, you know, putting in some very, very quick times and keeping everyone honest. Well, so honest that you know he's going to lap a few by the end of this.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
Speaking of which, he's just now taking his pit stop, and we've got 20 minutes. We've hit the halfway mark.
we sure have.
On the topic of loose cars, isn't it good though to have some cars be very like almost on the level, like the limit of undrivable, especially at tracks like Barcelona, where that slide does come in handy a lot, especially the Bentley, given how that track is, especially the tires. But that slide, I feel like the oversteer there.
yeah, I mean, but
more
again,
viable.
in a sprint race, that's fine. But in an endurance race, where you know often you're tire limited, you know, so you've got to double stint tires, or not even that. You know, you get a bit tired during the course of an event, so you want a car that's a little bit more stable, and you know,
Right.
so you're not driving on the limit all of the time. But yeah, for sure, a circuit like Barcelona, I do like to have a slightly looser car, especially for that terrible my worst two corners in any racing game or any racing track, the final chicane at Barcelona, where you really do need the quick turning for the left-hander and the snap turning for the right-hander, so you can get on the power as quickly as possible. So yeah, you're right. I mean, it just depends on the circuit really. So some circuits you need max wing, you know, car as stable as possible.
I just have to cut in here because I don't know, but this is the perfect example of commentator's curse, because I don't know if you guys realized, but Andre Michael got a stop-go 30 for speeding in pit lane. So he won't be lapping anyone at this point.
That means Grant's got a chance.
Hey, Grant,
Interesting.
I call that self-inflicted ballast.
yeah, it's but this will be interesting to see him now push a extra pit stop, and where will he end up? Because he was definitely running in the 57s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, will he catch Grant?
Well, Kyle, you know, you mentioned you know, Grant's got a good opportunity. You know, Daniel is you know, just behind him. What is he? It's about 3/10 behind him, battling for the lead. So
10 seconds back now.
Oh, is he 10 seconds back?
Yeah, he dropped back pretty far after the hairpin. Must have had a bad exit or something.
Okay, I missed that.
There's also a couple of cars behind him that are battling for position, so he may get caught up in a scrap that he doesn't want to be a part of.
Yeah.
There's also the point in fact that Andre's now going to fight traffic, so it's going to be tight.
Yeah.
I mean, there's battles all over the place at the moment. This one between Stavros and Kirk is heating up. And we've got Max, chasing them down as well. It's good stuff.
It's interesting to see
racing.
Kirk drive the Audi around here, because I did not think that Kirk was a Audi driver at all, but let alone driving it around here with all these curbs the way they are, could easily just send the car into the wall at some point.
I think that's because having won the 24-hour race recently at Silverstone in I can't remember which event it was, a charity race anyway. They won. It's the DSR, Dutch Sim Racing League, for cancer research.
Yeah.
We won that race, and they were given as a prize some setups, and one of them was for the Audi. So I think he's probably just trying that out tonight, which is good. You know, in a fun race like this, fun community race like this, guys, the cars are, so the drivers are, free to, choose a car that they want to have some fun in. But when it comes to the serious competition, we are focused on some, specific cars. We will be reviewing that with the release of the 1.8 update coming out on Wednesday, which we're all excited about, especially as everyone's really excited about the BMW. And I'm sure when you get on any public lobby or a new series starting, everyone's going to be in that car.
Yeah, it's going to be filled with BMWs.
Absolutely. But yeah, we're gonna reassess our preferred car choice once the 1.8 update is out, because inevitably, there's going to be different BOP for the different tracks, 2021 tracks now, and going into 2022. So we'll reassess that, and our pro drivers will have their choice, and our our academy drivers, silver drivers, they're all going to have their choice. So we'll see where we are. A lot of testing to do now.
A lot of testing indeed, as it usually comes with a lot of these cars, because a lot of these cars, like I say, you got to find the right car that works for you. With the single events, of course, team events are throwing people, sometimes it puts people in a car that they're not quite used to. They don't build confidence in it quite well. They just kind of feel overall kind of odd about it. Which is one of my big deals with, because I started out, my very first race that I did was a 2-hour, two-man endurance, or quote-unquote endurance. They called it an endurance race. It was a 2-hour endurance race with me and Trevor Jackson, one of our other drivers. We were driving the Maca, and I was not confident in the car at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, case in point, the car we're following at the moment, Chris Corbin, one of our faster pro drivers. He's down in 11th at the moment. He was running in second and third for much of the race in the Porsche, which is not his normal car. He's trying it out tonight, and he spun it. So he spun it and dropped himself down to from second to 11th. So not everyone's comfortable in all cars, and like you said, you didn't gel with the Maca. Chris is was complaining in our Discord about the Porsche, yet he's still trying to pump the laps in using it. So fair play to him.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. You got to put in a lot of time in some of these cars. A lot more time in more cars than usual. Like, say, you can't just jump into the Bentley and load up a setup and immediately get used to it.
Yeah,
but there's also the point in fact that there's cars like the BMW which take months to set up sometimes.
Let's see where Andre's going to come out the pits. He's serving his Top Go 30 right now.
Yeah. I think he's going to be there for a little while longer. He might actually be all the way back at the end of the tail here with Stevenson of this kind of snake. But the heavy battling now going on for is that third? Yeah, third position. As Amundsen actually dives a little bit too hard into Maggots and loses the position to Gert. And now it's Daniel under heavy pressure from Gert and Amundsen directly behind. That's gonna be a good little battle for the third place. Well, that's actually second.
He's gonna punch a massive hole in the air. That Bentley's gonna punch a huge hole in the air down these straights. So you're gonna watch that Ferrari and that Aston behind immediately pick up speed. It's gonna be actually quite impressive to watch because I know for a fact that Bentley has a huge draft hole. Huge. It's like a brick house behind that car. But the Ferrari can really compensate on, positioning. Huge amounts of positioning.
Yes,
because
and
you really got to throw that Bentley around some of these corners, and that's going to cause the time loss. But the Aston's going to compensate as we watch the Ferrari and the Bentley come in contact with each other.
Anders is actually the one benefiting from this.
I said, the Aston's going to compensate from the battling up front.
He just took 2 in 1. Anders went to the Silverstone and saw that it was a 2-for-1 deal into Village, and he took it. All right, and now Daniel immediately dropped way back. I think he was struggling a little bit with general maybe pace and tires. I'm not sure. But
Gert's been super scrappy with people today. He's been hitting door banging with people all day today. So.
Yeah. So this battle continues with Gert and Anders now.
Yeah, I think Daniels may have a problem with his tire pressures because first of all he had a very long pit stop, which is why he dropped back from Grant after the pit stop, because the undercut can work here, but he lost 9 seconds in the pits to Grant, and now he just seems to be off the pace.
Yeah, for a fact, but. If we're still watching the battle between Gert and Admonson, it's getting tight again. They're getting scrappy again. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be any more door banging from Gert or some aggressive defense from the Aston, as it seems that they're going to squeeze their way through the next few corners, right on each other. What do you think? What would your move be, AJ? Here, what would you do? What would you look for in a position like this? Being in
well, it depends.
the Aston's position.
I'm a very patient driver. I often wait for the just put my nose in just to make them know that they're there, and kind of try to force them into a mistake. I seldom go for a rash move, but if the move is there and I need to hurry up, then I will send it, but send it in a way that I'm not compromising myself or the other driver. If there's contact, I seldom have contact in a race, but if there is contact and it's considered a forceful overtake, then I will concede the position back.
That was a close one. That was almost.
That was very close.
Yeah. Well, Gert is definitely wanting that second place. And now they're getting into heavy traffic.
How would you defend from a position? Imagine yourself in the Aston's position. How would you defend from someone, as we've seen, as aggressive as Gert right now? We got a car off.
That was a car off.
Whoa. Almost collected someone else.
Multiple cars off. That was Dami and Sonky.
Dami and Sonky, yeah.
Yeah, they lost it. I think Sonky lost it.
Gert lost it going through the intro to Maggots and Beckett's, and we got cars all over the place. Holy cow.
Yeah.
It's a parking lot.
You're now on board with Daniel. No, you try as much as you can, right, to not drive in your mirrors. But having a car that aggressive, and we did have that in the race last night, actually, in the 12 hours of Bathurst. And at that point, I think it was 10 minutes into the race. At that point, I just let him go. I said, okay, well, I'm not gonna end up in the wall because of you, and we will get them later. But in a sprint race like this, it's you have to be aware. Take the inside line, but sometimes you just have to ease off the brakes if you see that he's getting close, and that will compromise your line as well. But it's worse letting him touch you. Because that often results in a spin, especially when your arc continuously turning. But there's fights all over the place now, and there's back markers getting into it, and I can see Sonky in the middle of the three-way battle between Stavros, Max, and Kirk. And now
I'd like to think that I'd have been in this battle if I'd been able to be on the track, because I out-qualified those three cars. Well, actually, I didn't out-qualify Stavros, but I out-qualified Kirk and Max. So I think I'd have been nicely in that battle. But anything can happen on a race day. So my disconnect, I liken it to mechanical failure on the track.
Yep.
Trying to retire the car, so it happens.
I mean, disconnects is something you can't control, and we all deal with those every so often. So, I mean, I don't look at it as a loss. It's more or less a just a, like an engine problem on a real track.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean, it just means I have to. I now have more time to practice for a qualifying event I've got tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. I have a race this evening, and I haven't even practiced for it, but I'm looking forward to my race this afternoon. But right now, as it seems the cars are starting to spread out, I asked Trolls what he thought of the new BMW. What do you think, AJ?
I'm super excited for it. I drive a BMW M4 in real life, so I'm a BMW fan. So I'm looking forward to getting in that car on Wednesday. Unfortunately for me, Wednesday is probably the only day I'm going to get to use it, because I have to fly off to Spain on Friday to do some stuff over there for the weekend. But next week, I'm looking forward to getting some real track time with it. And I mentioned earlier on, with 1.8 update and with the BMW, we're going to be retesting our cars, making sure they're still competitive, making sure we've got the right choice of cars as a team. And it might be that we move over to that BMW, and hopefully it's not what we call the meta car that everyone's going to be using, because some of the championships we race in, like SimGrid and others, they apply popularity ballast to a car. We're suffering a bit of that at the moment in the Bentley, because all of a sudden, we've been a Bentley team for quite some time, ever since I've been a Turn1 driver, but all of a sudden it's become a very popular endurance car, and the SimGrid are applying popularity ballast to it, which I get to a degree, but it just makes the car less enjoyable to drive, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
With the introduction of the new BMW, I'm fairly certain it's probably going to mix up a lot of championships, especially with 949. I wonder if they're going to allow any of the BMW drivers to swap cars. Because they did that. I think they did that with.
If I was a championship organizer, I wouldn't allow a swapping car midway through a championship. But at the beginning of a championship, that's different. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
With how they set up their championships, 949 is a great little community, by the way. But they set up their championships as how do I say this? You can't swap cars after I think the second or third race. I don't know if they stopped that entirely, but I remember from past seasons there have been people that have swapped cars and dropped all their points. So
that's a fair way of doing it. Whilst we've been talking about that, we've been following a great little battle between Gert and Antius. That's how you pronounce it in Norwegian, I believe. And it's really hotting up, and I think Gert's going to start to get a little bit impatient towards the we come into the end of the race, only 2 laps, maybe 3, no, probably 2 laps to go, and he's going to I think he's going to send it at some stage. I've raced with Gert in the RCI Friday Night Endurance Championship, and he's a patient driver sometimes, but when he gets towards the end of the race, he's going to send it.
Checkers or wreckers. That's what I used to say. But
the thing
coming
is,
from my background and me being where I'm at in the United States, a lot of as we have now a shakeup actually. Car number 72 just picked up a drive-through from Cut and Track, so that immediately just gives Gert the spot.
It does, and I was gonna say we are now 2 minutes away from the race finish, and I've seen a lot of cars going off. So that effectively stopped that battle.
Well, the track is also, you have to add, the track is also 33 degrees Celsius, so it's pretty, it's not like it's a cold track and people are just sliding because, you know, they're just losing it in corners. They're losing it because of tires right now, I'm fairly certain, because even though it was a 40-minute race, some of these tires do have a fast drop-off rate, and as much as people are pushing during these
and
races,
you can guarantee, knowing our drivers, if it's 20 minutes stints, they're running max camber on some of these cars, so tires are going to drop off. But it was great to see that Anders recognised that with the drive-through, he's no longer in the fight with Gert, and he let him go through into the chicane, and he will live to fight another day, and he's going to lose a few positions, but if he plays does a sensible thing and doesn't actually serve the drive-through, he will only lose positions he'll get a 30-second penalty, but only lose positions to cars that are on the same lap as him. So play the smart game, Anders.
I do have to say that before you say anything, Truls, I do have to say that Gert has by far made the most moves this race, most passes this race, for sure. Albeit not always the cleanest, but
I think if this race would have been stewarded, I don't think Gert would have ended up where he is. He has already been credited for the murder of and he's not even here anymore.
Marcel,
so he's been putting his Max face on and just elbows out all the way. He's Dutch,
absolutely bullying people around this track, but
but again,
I guess put it to the watchers as to who's their driver of the day.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely. I don't know if I can
even say him coming from the back of the grid like that's still not bad, within 40 minutes. I do have to say, but it is a shame to see car number 72 take the drive-through like this, though. I wish I could have seen the battle.
So late in the race, absolutely. It's disheartening for him. But, he knows it's a we say it's a community race, but more importantly, we say it's a fun community race. It's just, like I said, it's a chance for our community drivers to get on the track with our, pro drivers and our lower drivers, lower than pro, to get on the track with them as well and have some fun, because as I said, they're all in the same Discord voice channel, trolling each other,
yelling at each other. Corbin's out. Corbin spun it again in the same spot.
There you go. There's that Porsche fever.
Yeah, so we're definitely not going to have a vote for the Porsche from Chris, I think. As we do actually have a poll out right now, if the chat wants to have a look at that for the driver of the day.
Also, on track, there was a nice little fight. There is a nice little fight going between Steve-O and Andre.
Yeah, and Celine.
Celine's sneaking up back there in the rear, so, I mean... Maybe a quick move before the... No, never mind. The race is over. I thought there was one lap left. My bad. All right. This has been an interesting race to watch for sure. I almost enjoy watching the races more than I enjoy driving them, because a lot of the times there's times where you get in that, I call it the no man's land in the race, where all the cars are just spread out. There's nothing going on. So I mean, watching the race and broadcasting over, I enjoy it severely, almost too much. I'm almost addicted to watching and broadcasting these races because they're so much fun. They're just so much fun.
It was great to watch for me. It would have been even better to race in for me. It's all a bit of a shame that I wasn't able to. But in the end of the day, this was really just helping us to launch our YouTube channel, and hopefully those that were watching enjoyed the channel, enjoyed the stream. We will be, posting it as a rewatchable video, and hopefully we'll get a few of our community watching it and joining in with us at the next one, because we want to make sure we have stuff for the community to do, other than just watching us racing on other people's streams. So thanks again, Truls and Kyle, for broadcasting and putting on such good commentary. Really enjoyed it.
It's been a pleasure. I really enjoy being a part of this community and having just a blast doing this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm more wondering when Hedda's tires will go out. She's been doing donuts now for about 2 minutes. So she's having
Science.
fun.
Right.
Yeah, that's a bit of a freak.
I'll let you guys wrap up the stream, and I'll go and talk to the drivers. And
I appreciate you joining us.
And thanks for putting us on, guys.
Yeah, sure.
I definitely appreciate you joining us. I do have to say thank you to all the drivers for participating. I mean, couldn't do this without the drivers. And thank you to Trolls for setting all this up for the stream stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be let me see if we can get a new scene there. Here we go, to wrap this up, as there's not much left on the server. A little bit of a shameless promotion for me, and there, of course, Andy gives me credit for that one. Is gotta do the promotion. We are gonna be streaming from the More Female Racers race tomorrow on those channels. So this
for
channel,
sure, go and check out those guys and girls doing the More Female Racers event, because it's usually a lot of fun. I'll be in the chat. You'll definitely notice me as Colhoss. So go and say hi. Go and support our team.
yeah. This channel will most likely not go live tomorrow, as there will be streams from SimGrid on the race. We don't really know when our next appearance will be. Maybe even next Sunday. It depends on when the next community race will be, and if there is anything other. So a schedule is not planned, but we will definitely be back. What you say?
Come and check out our Discord if you really want to keep track of when we have these community events. I do believe we might put a link in the description. Hopefully so. If not, you could probably contact one of us and then get the information that way. Be sure and check out our socials. Turn1 on Instagram, Turn1 on Twitter, I think, right?
Turn1 Twitter, Turn1. All the links are in the is on YouTube in the About section. If you go to the profile on YouTube, we have links for Instagram, Twitch, Discord.
And you can't have a YouTube thing without saying smash that like button.
Yeah, smash that like button and subscribe, please. That will be very helpful. And by that, I think we can say well done.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you all for watching.
Driver of the day, I think, ended up being Gert.
Awesome.
I think. Yeah. Gert with the 57%. Yeah, so I'm gonna end the poll there, and Gert wins Driver of the day. So with that, I'm thinking, should we end the stream, or should we do a winning interview and a interview with Driver of the Day?
Do you want to do that?
We can do that.
You. This was right now. This is all unplanned.
Yes. So we'll bring in Grant here. Hopefully he will be fine with that. Yeah. Let's see. And we have Grant. Hello. I didn't give you a heads up there, Grant, but congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
So, what? How do you feel the race went?
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I just said to Andre that I wasn't going to fight him, and he agreed to give me a slipstream down the hanger straight on the first lap. I was sort of sticking with him, but inside of turn one, every time I managed to spin myself out, caught it perfectly, and managed to kick the engine like it stalled out. So I managed to get the starter and keep it going, and use the little escape road to get back on. Nailed the pit stop, and then once Andre had his stop go, then I just sort of, you know, turned the wick down a little bit and just cruised home.
No one's whatever gonna catch you after that, right? The gap was just too big.
Yeah, it was too big. Yeah, I don't know if I was just watching the replay there. Actually, I absolutely nailed my pit stop. I don't think I'll ever do it like that again. That was perfect in, you know, pitting, stopping, and exiting the pits was absolutely perfect. And yeah, well, like I say, once Andre would have won, but you know, once he had his penalty, it was just a case of not spinning out, no crashes. The car was very difficult. I wouldn't want to drive that setup ever again. But yeah, we got the job done in the end.
Yeah, well done. It was
we were definitely able to see you fight that car for sure. Because watching you go through some of the curbing areas where the curbs just kick up just a little bit, you were definitely getting really wobbly.
I mean, the car had. I can't even put into words how the car felt. It was so weird. I'd sometimes have incredible rotation, and other times I'd have to put like 900 degrees of lock in to get it to turn. So it was very difficult. It wasn't supposed to be like that. It was just more luck than judgment. I'd say it bit me at turn one once, but apart from that, there weren't too many big moments. A couple of wobbles here and there, but I think everything was under control.
Yeah, you would think the Ferrari was kind of good on Silverstone, but then you don't put into consideration the curbs. That really doesn't show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've even seen because I'm driving it tomorrow, and I'm not excited about it, but I've even seen that into Cups turn one. It's actually the AstroTurf. I guess it.
Yeah.
Not the anti-cut curb. So that's interesting. Yeah, very well done.
Thank you.
A bit of fortune, and then you secure the win.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice. Okay, well then.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then we will have. Time. Yeah, I already moved him. Then we'll have Gert. Let's see if he has some words about the votes. Hello, Gert. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hey.
Driver of the day.
Yes.
Oh, do I actually have to do this now?
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
This is the interview. So you have been voted the driver of the day. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
You were really beating other people, either off the track or on the track.
Yeah, with my front bumper, I killed Mitchell. Yeah. Or Marcel. Yeah.
I was
a lot of door banging too.
It's pretty fun. There was some good defending from the other guys. Some aggressive defending.
Yeah.
But good fun.
Yeah, you secured the second position as well. Not only driver of the day. That's good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. It was good fun.
Yeah.
Little incidents, little damage, but I think a lot of other guys had I only overtook like half of them. I think so. I think the Honda and stuff had a crash, and Chris had a crash. So it's a bit of luck there.
Yeah, but starting from the back, you almost made it.
Yeah, almost P1. Yeah, I just needed Wilhelm to crash, and then I was there.
Yeah. Well,
Grant. Was it Grant?
Grant, yeah.
Yeah, it was Grant. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but congrats on the driver of the day. And
thank you.
If this were live shooted, do you think you would have gotten P2?
No.
Okay.
We were talking about that. We were definitely talking about that.
It was like I think he made a tiny mistake, and then I sent it around the outside like Monza, right? Monza F1.
Yeah.
But I thought I had more overlap than I did. Like when I watched the replay, I thought, oh, that's not, that is barely over. Some people wouldn't even say that's overlap.
Yeah, then
like my yellow thing went on, so I was like, oh, I got overlap, so he'll see it, but no.
Yeah, the nose of the Ferrari is quite short. Well, congratulations, and I'll say have a good day. Rest of your day.
Okay. See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna round it up then.
Yeah, end it there.
Yeah.
End it on a high note. That was a fun little event.
Fun little event, a good first, at least for me, it's the second time I ever broadcast something, so we're learning day by day. But I think it was a decent run through. So, to everyone watching, I am going to say we'll see you guys next time. And again, Kyle, what do we do on YouTube?
Smash that like button
And subscribe.
and subscribe.
All right. Well, have a good one, guys, and see you on the next one.